Hello there, my name is Marius and welcome to my channel. On this channel I make a web design and development tutorial, so be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon. In this tutorial series we will learn how to code a responsive website from scratch using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. But first we will have two small crash courses. In this video we will have a crash course on HTML, CSS and Sass, and next week video will be a crash course on JavaScript. Let's get started. First we will start with HTML. HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It is used to structure a web page content. HTML files usually have either .html or .htm file extension. It doesn't matter whether you use .html or the .htm. Just be consistent with the naming. The home page of a website usually named index.html. We use HTML tag to tell a browser how to display content on a page. Tags are placed within angle bracket, as you can see here, opening angle bracket and closing angle bracket. For example, this is a paragraph tag. We had the opening angle bracket, the P, and closing open bracket, our content between, and then we close with opening angle bracket / the P, and then closing angle bracket. Some HTML tags have both opening and closing, and few others don't. For example, as you see here, this is the opening that show this the opening of a paragraph, and we close that show that we close the paragraph. We use text editor to edit HTML file. On the next screen we go over different type of text editor. Alrighty, so when it comes to code editors, we have many options. The first one I want to show you guys is the Notepad++. It's very great. It has nice highlighting, so be a great start. The next one is Sublime Text. I tried this also, it's very good. Then we have Brackets, which is another great one. It comes with live preview, so you see everything you're doing as you type. Another one is Atom.io. It's designed, developed by the guy at GitHub. It's pretty great also. And the last one, which is my favorite, is a Visual Studio Code by Microsoft. That's the one I'll be using in this tutorial. And of course, as you type, you need to see what you're typing, so you need a web browser. When it comes to browser, a good option is a Google Chrome, but in this tutorial personally I will be using a Brave browser. Let's get coding. So I will be using a Visual Studio Code by Microsoft in this tutorial. If once you open it, you'll be welcomed by this screen. I already have a folder that I created on my desktop called tutorial, which I open up. To open a folder in Visual Studio Code, go to Files, Open Folder, and find our folder. Click Select Folder, OB, and then it will show up on the left side here. So first we will start creating the HTML file, index.html. To create a file in Visual Studio, there are two ways. You can right click and choose new file and give it a name, index.html. Press enter, and that's how you create an HTML file. Another way to create it is to click this icon right here, new file, and give it a name. First we will move to the structure of an HTML file. First thing we begin with the declaration or the doc type that tell the browser this is an HTML document. To do that, we have the opening of the left angle brackets, the exclamation points, and the word doc type, space, and HTML, and then we close. Next, we have the HTML tag itself, and then we close with a forward slash and the HTML again. Next, we had a head tag. And then we close the head tag also. Then after the head tag, we had a body tag. And again, we close the body tag. The best space here, so the code is clean. Within the head tag, we can add extra information for the browser and a search engine such as Google. For example, we can add a title to our page by using the title tag. Title, and we close it. You say my new website. We save. Now, how are we going to preview our website? We've been coding, but we don't know how it look on a web page. So the way to preview your HTML files is to find that on your desktop, the index.html, double click, and then we have our web page right here, and you can see the title, my new website. Let me resize that so we can see everything. So as you can see, we have our title right here, my new website. Anything you put between the head tag doesn't show up on the web page. Anything you want to show on the web page goes between the body tag. So let's create a simple paragraph tag, semantic, and we close the paragraph tag. Let's just say this is a paragraph, and we save. Now nothing shows up right here, but once we refresh it, we have it right here. This is a paragraph tag. Now every time we type something here, in order to see it, we have to keep refreshing it. So there's an extension in Visual Studio called Live Server that will help us reload the page as soon as we save, so we don't have to keep manually refreshing it. As you can see, this icon right here called extension, click on it and search for Live Server. See the option right here. I already have it installed, but just go ahead and install it on your editor and back to your files, right click and choose open with Live Server, and we have it right here. Now if you add anything, let's say add another paragraph, say another paragraph, and we save, it automatically refreshes and we have it right here. As we saw how to create paragraph tag, now let's move to heading tags. There are 6 heading elements called H1 through H6. So For example, we have h1 and we close it, heading 1, sorry, h2, heading 2, h3, we close, heading 3, h4, heading 4, h5, heading 5, and h6, heading 6. Once we save, as you can see them here, heading 1 most important and heading 6 the least important. By default, the browser adds some styling to make it a little bit bolder and a lot bigger than the paragraph tag. So that those are the heading. Now let's move on to links. Let me add a little bit of space here so the code a little bit clear. Now that we got through the heading, let's move on to anchor tag to see how we can link from one page to another. Let's say we want to link from the index.html to another page called contact.html. To link, we use the anchor tag, and to create the anchor tag, you are again opening and closing angle bracket a and an attribute called href, and this is where we specify the destination we're going. So for example, contact.html, and then we close our anchor tag. In between, we write whatever we want to. Let's say go to contact. We save, and then we have it right here. Now we don't have this page right here, contact.html, so we need to create it. Contact.html. Press enter, and let's quickly create the HTML structure. We'll go through a little bit faster this time. At the title, say contact us. On the body, close the body tag. Add a heading 1 here, h1, and let's say contact page. Let's save it, and let's go back. This is our index. Now let's click on the contact, the link. We get to the contact page. As you can see, contact us, like the title and the heading 1. Contact page. Now let's go back to the index. Go back here. As you can see, once we click on the link to go to the contact page, it open up in the same tab. But let's say you want to open it in a new tab. It's pretty simple. All we have to for example, let's copy this again. Paste. All you have to do is add a target attribute, target, and set its value to _blank. Now this, we go to a new tab. As you can see, this is our second one. But let's change. Let's just say contact us. Contact us. We save it. Let's click As you can see, it didn't open the same tab, but open a new tab. So that's good. But as you can see, these two are sitting next to each other. It's because our anchor element or inline element we go over that during our CSS section. But let's add a little bit of space between it by using another tag called the break tag. Just BR, that's the break tag. It stands for break. It gives us space. It breaks the element. It doesn't have closing. It doesn't have closing tag. It just BR. Like this. For example, if you want to add label line, you can use the HR tag. We send for horizontal rule. We add a line. Now let's move to images. How to add an image to the web page. To add an image, you start with the image tag. Image, we come with two attributes, the src, we send a source, and the art, we send alternate text. The source attributes where you specify the location of your image. I have an image here. Let me drag it. I measure the water right here. So let's add. So I have a water. That JPEG. And now we have the image right here. Let's add a break. Sorry, there's some space. The alternate element that is value is something that describes your image. For example, say this is an image. This is a picture of water. What this does is give extra information on search engine or the people using screen readers. Or for example, you may spell your picture name, let that location it gives right here. This is a picture for water. Right here. So that's that. Now let's move to list item. There are two types of list item. There are order list and unordered list. We start with an unordered list. To create an unordered list, use the UL tag, close it. You will send for unordered list. Let me write a comment. By the way, this is how you write a comment in HTML. So with the left angle bracket, exclamation, 2 dashes, whatever you want to write in a comment, followed by another 2 dashes and the right angle brackets. Now let's create a list of the days of the week. To create, we start with the li, close it. Okay. Monday. Now let me copy and paste this time. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and one more, Sunday. We save. We have it right here. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. By default, the browser add a little bullets here. That's an order list. To create an order list, it's the same as the order list. Only thing we change the UL to OL. So let me copy this, paste it down here, and instead of a UL, it become O. Now 0 O L. We save. Now instead of giving a bullet, it gives us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 numeric values. So that's list items. Now let's move to forms. Let's create a simple text field using the input type text. To do so, I have to create the inputs. You see, type code text. Now there are a lot of different type that you can choose. Here's like all different type that you can choose from. HTML had button, checkbox, color. We go over a few of this in our tutorial, but in case you want to go see different type, this like an example. Import type text, create a single line text field which can type in. Let's save and you can see right here. You can see my website. Let's create an email input field. All you had to do again, inputs. Instead of text, we write email. Save. Now it doesn't. This the email doesn't look any different, and we have no idea whether this is a text or this is the email. So let's add a label to show that this is text. This is an email. For example, this is like your first name. This is your email address. Create a label using the label tag. We come back to the for label later. So let's say label first name. And create another label right here. Email address. And we had these two. And this take your email address and this take first name. The for attribute and the label help connect the label to the input field. But how does it connect? As you can see, once we click on the inside the input field, it get highlighted, indicating that this is focus. But let's say you want your input field to be called focus as soon as you click on the label. The for value here, let's say first name, and the input field we can add another attribute called ID, which had the same value as the for. So first name. What that does is, as soon as we click on the label right here, the input field get focus. The ID value must be the same as the for value here in order for it to work. So let's try to do it for the email. Say email, and an input given an ID, email. We save. Okay. As you can see, now let's create a radio button. By using, let's leave a break tag to get some space right here. Yeah. Now let's move to a radio button. Inputs. Instead of test, we write radio. We save. And then we put a label for this radio button. Let's say web design. Now we have it. Let's create another inputs. Type radio. And for this, let's give it label of SU. Now you see. Now let's connect the label to the input. So we have web design here. Let's just say web design. And make sure this gets the same ID. ID equals web design. And here let's say SEO. ID SEO. We save. Now watch, once we click the label, it gets selected. When you click the SEO, it gets selected. As you can see, both of them get selected same time, but we want one to be selected at a time. To make sure that only one is selected at a time, we must specify a name attribute to both radio and must have the same value. So name attribute, let's say services. We come back to the SEO also. Say name services. We save. Now only one will be selected. This one selected. Now only one is selected at a time. Let's give it a general label. What are we waiting for? Say choose our service. I give a break, and also like give some spacing between this. Now let's create a select. For example, let's say we want to give the user the choice to choose the best time to call them. Okay, let's create a general label. Whatever that for. Choose best time to call. To create a select element, had the opening and closing angle bracket where select, show you close, and between is where we pass the options. For example, we can have morning, afternoon, evening. So we have option, say morning. Let's copy this and paste them. Afternoon and evening. The break here and a break here. See, you have this option. Now the option accepts some attribute. One attribute accept is a value attribute. the value attribute is used. Let's say you want to send the choice to a server, specify that value right here. For example, we can say money, like give a value to each one of these. Afternoon, value, evening. But let's say you want the afternoon to be selected. By default the morning is selected because that's the first one we have in the list. Let's say you want the afternoon to be selected and load every time. What you do, pass another attribute called selected. Now you see that afternoon is selected. You can change it. Sure. Same thing for the radio button. I see nothing selected yet, so let's make the web design to be the one selected at first by adding the attribute called check. Now the web design is the one selected at first. Now let's move on to the last, which is test area. Add a brick, add a label. So let's say describe your project. And have text area. Now, as you can remember, the for and the ID are the same value, so let's just say describe right here, description, and the same here also, description. You save. Let's add a break right here, and you get your test area. You're allowed to add a lot of stuff. So that's it for the form. Also, to create this, it's important to wrap them in a form tag. Have the form, a space, and let's copy all of this and put inside of the form. And then paste them right here. It doesn't change anything, just that that's a proper way to do it. Now there are some elements that we briefly go through. That we focus a little bit more on when we get to our projects. Some of the elements are the header elements. Header elements. A header element. This is a header. We have our nav elements. We're suitable for any navigation. This is a nav element. It doesn't add a special styling. These are what we call a semantic element. It gives some meaning. For example, before you can just have a division called div. It doesn't have any special meaning whatsoever. But with this, now you can specify this a header element, this is a nav, like is for navigation, so on and so forth. We have folder. We have us, this is our folder. We have a session element, so this is a section element. We have a side element. This is a side element. We have a article element. Article element. This is an article element. Again, it does have a special styling. It just like add some meaning to the contents. So when search engine see this, they understand maybe this is the header. So right here, this is a navigation. This is a footer, a session. As well, let's wrap our heading element inside the session tag. Session. Like copy all this. We used to wrap stuff inside. We save. Again, as you can see, no special styling, just and give it some meaning to our tag. So that's it for the HTML. Next, on the next screen, we will start with the CSS. See you.